Welcome in, one and all, to another edition of Off the Record. You guys know the deal. It's a show that's very conversational, and we tend to go a little bit off the record. And it wouldn't be an off the record show without Mamba joining late. So I texted him right before the show. I say, "Where you at?" He goes, "Oh, expletives. I forgot I'm on Central Time." So we got Darian Gilliam, who's on Pacific Time. He didn't forget because he can do math. We got Ashley Stroehlein, who's on Eastern Time, so she's on time, and we're all just waiting for Mamba like usual. This is not surprising, right, Ashley?
No, real life, work life, you're just always waiting on Mamba. It's what it is.
This never fails, Darian. What are we going to do with this man? We're going to give him crap when he joins. That's what
Oh yeah, especially me for sure.
Yes, that's what we have to do. Well, you know what? While we wait for him to join, let's talk about Darlington. Ashley, I know you were down there, and I was eternally jealous because that was so freaking awesome. Like, I'm still jacked up from watching that race. That's not even an exaggeration because after the race, I'm getting up, I'm sweating because I'm so excited. It was an unbelievable finish, unbelievable race. Those are races which remind you like why you got into the sport, why you do what you do, because everything about it from start to finish, even though it was so long, it was a Southern 500 over 4 hours. To me, it didn't really feel that long and drawn out because it was just so good throughout, and you were there in person, and I figure that you feel the same way.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. If you would have told me like the runtime of the race, I would have been like, what? It lasted that long? Just because at every moment, I didn't know what was going to happen. So many unexpected things happened that kept you entertained. If you're in NASCAR and that's your opening race of the playoffs, you have to be feeling pretty good right now because it had pretty much everything you could want. So many drivers that you thought would go and have good races didn't. They're now below the cut line. You have Denny Hamlin getting his first win of the year, picked a pretty good time to do that. You have Kyle Larson giving it his all to stop Denny from getting that win and everything in between. Kyle Busch, I know we'll get to that as well. Having a moment there. Just, I mean, it goes on and on and on. So a great race. I was super entertained. Did not feel like a long race at all. And I was happy to get to be there and see it all in person.
Darian, I'm just happy that you didn't put a curse on the winner because that's something new.
Every time I tweet, it's like they always get jinxed for some reason. All that, like I tweet for 1 minute about McDowell, he ends up getting taken out, all that stuff. So something always happens. But yeah, like I have to agree. Yeah, there's always something happening during the race. Like usually the Southern 500s really. I mean, it's like it is a traditional race on the NASCAR Cup Series schedule, but at the same time, sometimes the race can be very long, very. It can be very boring sometimes, I mean, but I'm a race fan though, so I'm going to watch whenever. But this Southern 500 in particular, though, like always had something happening. Even on the caution laps, during like the long green flag runs, there was always some type of battle happening too. And we even saw some spoilers too. I mean, poor LaJoie was running in the top 10 on pure speed alone. And then Ross Chastain, he nearly broke the McDonald's curse. He nearly broke it. He still got a top 5 though. So definitely his best race of the season. And it was cool to come full circle because Ganassi's like their season operations in the Cup Series afterwards. And he got his first opportunity with them basically in the Xfinity Series a few years prior. So it was cool to see that finally come full circle.
You didn't put a curse on Hendrick Motorsports, Darian?
I've tweeted about him, so yeah, I probably have, but this race definitely reminded me, definitely shades of the 2004 Bass Pro Shops 500 in Atlanta. There were like multiple playoff cars, or excuse me, chase cars, as it was called at the time. That had problems that day. And look who's here! Look who's here, really quick. Hey, Mamba!
Finally made it.
Hey, Central Time is an hour behind.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Of course, he's got to get his truly out. Of course, he's got to get his truly out.
Tell you what, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, regroup, and give Mamba the proper crap he deserves on the other side of the break. You're listening to Off the Record. Welcome back to Off the Record, and let's get back on track. And in order to do that, we got to give crap to Mamba because it's not the first week he's been late. It's the second week in a row. So tell the people why you were late and why apparently you're not good at math and balancing Central and Eastern time.
First off, I've never been to Wisconsin ever in my entire life. I don't even really know where it is. I don't know where it is on the map, to be completely honest. Like, I know where it's kind of at. It is. Well, it became your problem today. So we're up in Road America for the Ferrari Challenge Series, setting up for a big finale event. So it's gonna be awesome.
All right, I wanna throw out a question to you guys. I've been thinking about it since Sunday, and honestly, Darlington may be at the top of the list. I'm gonna put you guys on the spot. The best race doesn't need to be NASCAR. It could be Cup, Xfinity, Truck, K&N, Modified, ARCA, whatever. Formula One, IndyCar, Global. I don't care what series it is, what kind of cars. What is the best race that you can remember watching, attending, or hearing or watching in person on TV, whatever it is? Since Mamba, you were late, I'll put you on the spot first. What do you got?
The best race that I ever attended? Honestly, my favorite one is when Smoke won at Loudon, because I was there in the stands. Loudon's my home track. That's my favorite race car driver. He was running that like basically all orange with the black roof. I think he won the championship that year. He was dominant that year. So for him to win at my home track when I was there was so cool. And that was when he was still, you know, a little smaller Tony, and was able to climb the fence and get all the way to the flag stand. Yeah, I don't know. I saw him last weekend at the US Nats. I think his fence climbing days are over. But that and I've seen some awesome short track racing, like Thunder Road Speedballs put on some amazing shows when I was growing up. So, but Loudon for sure.
How about you, Stro? I know you've seen a few races in your day.
Yeah, it's hard for me because a lot of times I'm working, so I'm running around or I'm shooting video or I'm running to the garage, like getting, you know, what happened? Here's the car, is the driver okay? Where are they say? So I feel like, unfortunately, sometimes in my job, I miss like getting to take in the whole race. Darlington on Sunday was really cool because I was able to just focus. I didn't have to do all of that. It was just post-race interviews in victory lane. So that was a great one. Martinsville a few years ago when everyone thought Chase Elliott was going to get the win and Denny wrecked him and they almost fought, and like just the crowd and the energy. And I was just standing there on pit road like, oh my gosh, this is about to go down. I think the fan was like ready to fight Denny also, like the big guy was on pit road. I was like, what is happening? So that was pretty entertaining. Bristol's my home track, so any race that I've gotten to go there to be a part of, and I'll be sentimental for a moment because it's really special when I go back and I get to take my mom to a race and be off the clock and just get to be there with Mama Stro and that kind of thing. So it's hard for me to pick just one. I've got to experience some really cool things and some exciting moments, but sometimes work gets in the way of me really being able to enjoy everything that a race has to offer.
Darian, what you got? What's the best race that you can remember?
Probably Bristol 2019, the night race. That was the first time me and a bunch of my YouTube buddies, we actually met in person for the first time. And, you know, a lot of stuff's happened since then where we're able to, you know, go to some races and all that and, you know, get some media credentials and stuff. But that first ever weekend doing that with them and stuff, that is something that'll never be topped ever to me. And also, like, that was the first time I had ever visited Bristol for the first time. So seeing all the races that weekend was awesome. But the Cup race in particular that night, Matty D almost winning. Like, I was down in the infield, like when that was happening and stuff. And I was like, oh, hold him off. And yeah, he just couldn't. But yeah, it was overall, it was an awesome weekend though. So
I just want to ask Darian, did you guys all meet on like chat roulette or in a random group? Were you nervous when you guys met, or were you like, man, I'm sharing a house with some random strangers, or how?
Well, not up to that point, because up to that point we had known each other for basically like almost 2 years. Up to that point we had met basically in like early 2018, and pretty much like the group got bigger and bigger and bigger, and as time went on, it's like, hey, y'all want to go to some races? Like, yeah, sure, let's try to go to this one and stuff. And we had basically planned that out for like a year in advance too, so it was funny.
Interesting. Chat roulette. I did not expect that to be mentioned.
Yeah, I don't even.
No.
Chat. What the hell is chat roulette anyway?
You know, Omegle. It's like the OG
You're a
Omegle.
baby.
Oh, okay. So that's a little before my time.
It's
Yeah,
really
he's a-
late. You don't know
Darian's
what's going to pop up on the screen. You just don't.
You got no
Yeah.
idea.
I promise it was never motorsports popping up on the screen. I
Yeah,
promise it wasn't that.
I'd imagine.
I think this is a perfect time to throw it to break before we say something that we're going to regret and gets us in trouble. So stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Off the Record. We will not talk about what Mamba just mentioned brought him to Slovakia back in the day, as he cracks another truly, because he doesn't want to talk about that on the air. But we're off the record, so maybe we should, but we're not going to. We've been talking a lot about the Cup Series, a lot about the playoff, the contenders, rightfully so. But let's give some talk and some due to the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series. Let's start with the Truck Series, because their playoffs are already underway. First two races in the bank. And Sheldon Creed's taking him to the woodshed. Wins at Gateway, wins at Darlington for the second time this season, by the way, at the track Too Tough to Tame. Defending champ is pretty solid right now. I think that he's making a good bid for a repeat championship run. Wouldn't you say, Ashley?
Yeah, I think so. We got to talk to him in Victory Lane after he won at Darlington. And what I love so much about what he had to say, he's just so humble and so surprised. It's not like, yeah, I'm the champ. I'm doing it again. Yeah, I got the Darlington sleep. It's like,
California
I can't
cool.
believe it. Like, this is so great. I don't even know what to say. So I love his approach. I love his attitude. And he's feeling pretty good. They'll have the week off and then they'll go to Bristol for what I'm sure will be an exciting race. It'll be a cutoff race, I believe, for them. So emotions will be high, and Bristol always brings the drama.
Absolutely, it does. Darian, I know that Sheldon's a West Coast guy like you, very chill, California kid, got the vibe, you know. This shouldn't be a surprise that when he's in Victory Lane, he's just like, yeah, man, it's just great. We got fast trucks, you know.
Yeah, not
Really
at this
good.
point. Not at this point, right? But I mean, like, just in terms of his overall talent, man, like, I had a fan compare him to Robbie Gordon the other day, and I'm kind of like, yeah, I mean, like,
Robbie Gordon's one of his mentors.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, I could kind of see that. You know, Robbie Gordon drove like way more stuff, and I think Creed up to this point he's only driven in NASCAR and the Lucas Oil off-road
Stadium
series.
Super Trucks.
Yeah,
which
Stadium
Robbie
Super
Gordon now
Trucks. Yeah,
runs.
exactly. So I feel like if you can just put this kid in anything, and he'll just like take the machine up front, and you know, in GMS equipment, it's a no-brainer too. And also, he's the defending series champion, so it's really not a shocker to me.
Yeah, not a shocker to you either, Mamba.
That he was one of my kids at MDM. We won the
I
ARCA
know.
championship. Like, so no, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, he's the reigning champ. He's really good. Not to mention Jeff Stankiewicz, his crew chief, was his crew chief at MDM when they won the ARCA championship. They have a great rapport together. They love to go compete. They love to go win. Shout out to Penza, who's over there too. And those guys are getting it done, right? They're just dominating right now. And I love to see it, and I'm proud of them for it because it was something that we kind of saw glimpses of in ARCA, but you never know how that's going to transfer, right? Like, you never know, just because they dominate at a lower series doesn't mean you're going to dominate the next level. GMS has it rolling right now. They're doing a lot of good things. I love seeing that two truck. I think the two reminds me of Jason Leffler and the ASC 2 all the time, and I'm like, man, that's really cool.
Well, that was the car that he had earlier this season at Darlington that he won. You remember that throwback scheme?
Yeah, it was beautiful. That was one of the best throwbacks that we've ever seen.
I agree. It was nice.
But I would say if you're comparing him, I feel like it's almost like it's too soon to say this, but he's really close with the Johnsons, with Jimmy Johnson, Jesse Johnson, Jared Johnson. He has a lot of that same demeanor. I'm not going to say he's Jimmy Johnson, but I'm going to say that he races and does things very similar.
No, that's fair. Let's stick on Sheldon for a sec, because like you said, you know him back to the MDM days. And I know that like he's changed obviously throughout that time, but still the core tenets of his personality and his values are probably the same. And I know you still have a relationship with him and Jeff now. So knowing him how you know him, Mamba, have you seen him change in terms of his demeanor, but also on track, his driving style and his maturation process there?
He was a little bit more wild before. He was an off-road guy. He was just all gas, no brake. And he is now, but he picks his moments.
He still is.
Yeah, he is now, but he's smart enough to pick his moments. He's just matured as a driver and as a person. Like, he's off the track. He's a good time, man. Like, he's someone you want to go out and have a beer with and be on the lake with, but he's not someone you got to worry about doing dumb stuff. Right? Like, he's a very, just a very good, humble guy, is what Stroh said as well. And I'm so proud of him. He's come a long way and still winning. He hasn't stopped winning. He's been winning since he was on BMX bikes. So here we go.
All right, let's come back. One more break. Let's get out of the way, and we'll talk some more Richmond. And we're going to tell you guys what we're looking forward to this upcoming weekend. We are off the record. Welcome back to Off the Record, everybody. We got Dylan Mamba Smith with us. We got Darian Gilliam holding it down on the West Coast. And we got Ashley Stroehlein here down in the 704. Davey Segal here with you, as always, trying to keep these crazy cats in line. Let's talk about the weekend coming up, though. We got a lot of action. Xfinity, Cup, Modifieds on Friday. First time they're coming back to Richmond in 19 years. You got Formula One at Monza. You got IndyCar. You got ARCA West at Portland with IndyCar. A lot of action going on this weekend. Let's talk about what we're looking forward to this weekend. I mentioned we got a ton of racing going on from Richmond to the West Coast to Italy, everywhere in between. So I'll throw it to you first. West Coast, Best Coast, West Side. What you looking at this weekend? What you got on tap?
Yeah, I didn't even know Modifieds were returning to Richmond. And
First time in 19 years, baby.
I've only seen Modifieds at Richmond on the old NASCAR games. Like NASCAR was 706. You had to play the career mode. That was always the first race in the Modified. So I never got to see them race actually there. So that'll be cool to see.
7 p.m. Friday night.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, but you also said Xfinity and Cup, correct? No trucks this weekend. All right.
Okay.
So we get a double header. That'll be cool to see. Cool to see Junior race again, and then also cool to see which drivers will be able to rebound after the chaotic Southern 500 too. I'm really curious to see how KFB is gonna rebound after that fine and after the crash he was involved in. So I'm really curious to see how he'll do there. And then also F1's in Italy, you said?
Monza.
Or Monza, Monza. So that's gonna be a good race. We'll see if Gasly can perhaps repeat. I don't know. It's gonna be really hard this year. I doubt it, but it'll probably be either a Mercedes or Red Bull, to be honest. But hey, you never know. It's we've seen crazy races happen there in the past. So.
Yeah, way to go out on a limb there, picking Mercedes or Red Bull to win a Formula One race.
Yeah. Hey, could be McLaren. Could be McLaren too.
It could be. You never know. More orange. That's right. Yeah. That's right. Stro, what are you looking at this weekend? Any race in particular stand out to you?
Well, my weekend, not to bring other sports into this, but it gets crazy for me. So my focus on racing will be Saturday, Xfinity and Cup. I can dedicate my time and my day to that. That'll be my show. I know where you're going. When I'm anchoring, of course, Panthers on Sunday. I got to focus on that. And then Friday.
Pounding.
There you go. And then Friday, we kind of focus on high school football. So we'll do some NASCAR preview, but that's where I'm at. So I'll be excited for Dale Jr.'s return. That'll be a great day to, see him there, see how he does, how the fans respond and react. And I think, the second playoff race in the Cup Series, who can bounce back, like you guys said, Bowman won there in the spring. We'll see if he can rebound from a not so good finish at Darlington and get above that cut line, and how Hendrick does as well, because I feel like all season long, they've been the talk of the town, right? It's Hendrick, they're rolling. And last week, it was a lot of stuff random stuff that caused them a lot of issues, a lot of things that were out of their hands. So do they rebound at Richmond, or is it somebody else? And is it a surprise winner in the playoff group? And I don't know. This time of year, it's fun because everybody's racing so hard every lap. So much matters. So much is on the line. So I'm excited. And then we go to Bristol, my home track. So I can't wait to be there for that as well. And it's a cutoff.
It's Bristol, baby. I love it. I think Darian was right. You used the word chaotic for the first race. I think it'll probably be chaotic for this weekend at Richmond as well. And obviously Bristol's going to be crazy. All right, Mr. Wisconsin, what are you looking at this weekend? You eating some cheese?
I am definitely eating some cheese.
We talked about cheese all last week. I just remembered.
Yeah. Back-to-back weeks. Cheese. Before it was Vermont cheese. Now it's Wisconsin cheese. Different kind of cheese.
Well, no, it was because Gracie Trotter was on last week and she was at the Milwaukee Mile. So we were talking cheese. And then you were like, no, Wisconsin. And I was like, relax.
But if I'm looking forward to anything, it's definitely the Xfinity race at Richmond, because it's a short track. And this short track kind of stayed the same from, back in the day. Now it hasn't really changed a whole lot. Turn 2 is really tight. People usually bang off the fence there. And the restarts are really hectic. The Cup race is going to be a lot of the same. I hope for more mistakes. I hope these guys get angry at each other. I hope they get emotional, because that breeds more mistakes and breeds awesome racing, honestly. So I'm here for that. So that's my weekend. That's what I'm looking at. I'm excited about it. Last weekend I was in Indy for the U.S. Nationals, burned my face off with the nitro. So that was cool.
Nice.
Kind of. But
safe.
now we're sports car racing here and NASCAR watching. So it's all good. It's all gravy, baby.
I've tried to stand behind those nitro things as long as possible on like a dare, and I just can't do it. I just can never do it.
That's a bad idea. Okay, something you got to do. And I will say too, the fans remind me of dirt racing fans. They literally sit there while they're warming the engine up. So they warm the engine up before they make their run, right? And they're blowing nitro out of the pipes. And the fans are like this close, just like eating it, and they love it. And I'm like, you guys are crazy.
I have to move to the side after like 5 seconds. I'm like, how do you guys stand here and like take this? Like I can't do it.
The modified race, I'm really looking forward to it. I've been writing for NASCAR Roots about the modified series this year a little bit. Big names in it this week. Ryan Newman, Ryan Preece, 2 Cup Series guys going to be at Richmond already. They're going to be with the Ground Pounders on Friday night. So I'll be interested to see how they do. Justin Bonsignor is on his way to winning his 3rd straight championship. So put some respect on that man's name. Plus, Doug Coby's in the field. He's going to be making his Truck Series debut for GMS Racing at Ashley's home track at Bristol next weekend. So there's a lot of storylines to watch with the modified race. Patrick Emmerling, he's second in the standings, and he's going to be running for our motorsports in the Xfinity race the next day. So put some respect on the NASCAR Wheel Modified Tour. That's all I got to say. And I'll get off my soapbox. Thank you guys so much for joining me. It's been fun, for real. Thank you for laughing at my jokes. I didn't know that I was funny, but I guess I was being funny.
You're not.
Let's go to the Netherlands. Can we do next week's taping in Zandvoort?
Let's go. Book the tickets. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. Dylan, you're our producer. Get us some flights, please. Eat some cheese, Mamba. We'll see you next week.